Okay. This one. Oh, we need to turn stuff on. Alrighty, so let's get started. We'll start the video off by doing an overview of what's going to happen here. So we have thing in here. I think it's in here. No. Where is that map? No. I don't know. Anyways, so we have an instance here, and we have our character, and we have an inventory screen. I don't believe. Do I have items in here? Did I break it? Yeah, no. So I just have the one item in here. But I do have the ability, I think, in this one to like spawn an item, right? So we have a hero sword here. Basically, what we're going to work on is the inventory itself, and the problem is that all this stuff I've been just making this stuff in a just a regular project, trying to see how it works and learn how Unreal Engine 4 works. So I've never really messed around too much with it. So this is the first time actually trying to create a system, a game system that could be used somewhere. And we're having problems basically sharing. If I want to give this to a friend and he wants to try it out in his project, I have to make it a plugin. The problem is that in order to do that, I had to create a new project, and of course we get a phone call. There we go. There's the calendars. Alright. I completely forgot what I was doing now. Okay, alright. So, I made a project that is a plugin, one that is a actual C++ project, which lets me make plugins with all kinds of cool stuff. And we're working on importing the inventory part into this plugin so that we can easily share it, package it up, all that kind of stuff. So I'll kind of go over the structure that I'm almost rewriting it because I was learning how to do this, so I have to change the way it works, and I'll get to that in a bit. But because it's a modular based system, I had to make the third person character that I was using as a demo, and I actually had to put it into the game so that when you're in here it recognizes everything the same. So like this part works where it toggles the view of the menu and it gives you control of the mouse. I got that part working. I don't have any of the items per se in here, so I might have to add a couple of extra things and migrate some of the stuff like the item icons and stuff over just to get things running, and so I can actually test it myself. So let's try and figure out what works and what is the next step. So we'll just click play. So right now I can view this. I can now move my mouse. I can use stuff. I can click stuff in here, and I press I again to toggle it off. I will go over the actual modular part of this. So on the third person character controller, this is the player, that the object that it makes. So the one change that I had to do, and that's why I colored it, is on the character I have a Boolean variable in menu, and as long as this is on, you can control your mouse camera movement in the game. When you toggle it, it sets this to true, and so it disables your input for your mouse, so you're not moving the camera while you're moving your mouse in the game. So there's that. So I had to add these these were just connected straight from input access turn to the yaw input. I just put a branch for a Boolean condition and said if it's not in the menu, it's gonna do what it normally would do, otherwise it ignores it. So that's that. And then the main actual part of this plugin, if I go to the player, I have a player inventory controller. So this is when you create a blueprint, you have all these options, right? But this actor component is the one I wanted. In the original one, let's go over to this one here. In the original one, it was on the actual player. So we'll go into our blueprint here. And if we look at this project, all of this stuff, so the inventory is actually on the player. I don't want that because I want it to be a modular. So right now this player inventory is actually the part that controls the menu and everything, and then the player has the inventory. I don't want it to be on the player as a variable. I want it to be inside, self-contained inside that component. So that's the part I'm having to rewrite, and I'll have to change stuff as I port things over. But so all you do now is we go back to the new one and we look at our third person. I have the player inventory controller, and that is the controller here. And I just added this component because it's an actor component onto the player. Now this has the event tick is when you press the key. So this is how I'm handling the key presses. And I will also do I'll handle like all your inputs. So if you're gonna drag and drop stuff, or however the inventory is actually gonna work, it will all be within this module, and that way you don't have to go into here and into the controller and add like the keys, right? So we'll go key. We have all these key inputs. Like if I wanted to do a T, I would add it onto the controller. because that breaks the functionality from the plugin away from the plugin itself, I wanted to have it in its own controller, self-contained. So with as little configuration on the player controller as possible, you add the component, and then you have this boolean on the character for the menu, and that's pretty much the only thing you have to add, aside from doing this little in menu thing. So adding the boolean and the controller will make it work so far the way it works right now. So that is how that works. So right now we're toggling the inventory, and we're doing all this awesome rat's nest of stuff, and it basically goes through, gets the controller that the current player has, and it gets the player inventory menu, and that is the widget. If I go to the UI menu, so this is the main the menu that's going to be populated. There is a vertical or a wrap box inside of the vertical box. This is where it will populate all of the items. Right now it's not drag and drop. I have found out that if you drag and drop, you have to have set positions. So I might not do that. I might do a sorting thing somehow, and then have a toggle there where you can adjust the sorting, like by name or by weight or whatever, and then this wrap box will just automatically organize stuff as it's populated. Anyways, so it gets the inventory, and we'll get a reference and the length of it. So if it's valid and it's greater than 0, right? So if I just wanted to make sure if I was going to add an array of these things, which I'm probably not, I'll just leave this in here. Then it's going to hit this branch. If it is, that means it exists. The menu already is attached to the person. And if it's visible, it has a branch to do, if it's visible, we're going to hide it, so we're toggling it. We do enable the mouse look, so you can control your camera angle again, and that is this function that it gets the player character, the controller, which you would have to change if you were adding this in the plugin. The player controller will set the mouse cursor off, and it will turn the in menu to a false as well. So these are the two booleans on the controller, and the so this one is actually hard coded. The in menu is the one that we added. So that's what the enable is. The disable is the exact opposite, same thing, but it sets these two to true. So those are those two functions. And toggle inventory. All right. So it does those two here. So we got the enable mouse look and set the input to game only. And then we have the if it's not visible, it makes it visible, disables that mouse output, mouse look, and then sets the game input to game and UI, with the widget that is in focus being the menu. And this reference goes all the way back to the beginning to this get. So it sets the active, and the reason why I did that is because when you toggle it, you'd have to click in the menu to actually get the tooltips to work. So that's why that's actually set. Otherwise, if this is false, if it's not valid and its length is 0, basically those two functions will return false. And it will create the main menu. So there's our player inventory menu. It will create one. It will populate the inventory. So it's going to go through all of the items in the thing just to create everything. And then it's going to add it to the viewport, disable your mouse look, and then set it to the game and UI, and then set the focus to this widget that we just created. So that is how it toggles off and on whenever you press I. So if I press I. So I can move my mouse, and I can move this, and I can go like this. And so as I move my mouse and I press I, it turns everything off. So that part's working. Alright, so the next part that happens after we toggle it, what we need to do is work on this Populate UI function. So we've got a populate the list of things, player inventory, and it's clearing the inventory itself is player inventory character. So this is a widget because I'm putting it on the, I need like certain containers and stuff for these things. And its only purpose is to have this player inventory list right now. And it's just an array of this player inventory structure. Now each one of these inventories, data, so this is the structure for an item inside the container, and it contains the basic information about the item. So we have the name of the item, its weight, stack size, its max stack size, icon, which is what is displayed in the menu, and then the item mesh is the skeletal mesh of that item. So in order to create the object, you have to have the two icons and the static mesh, skeletal mesh, whatever, for that item, so that if you spawn that item in the game, then it's going to be visible in the game as a model, similar to the way this one works, where if I press 8, I get the, I'm pointing at the screen again, no, whatever. Some of the functions in this are just so annoying. Okay, spawn the item, Shift F1. So this item here is the, is this editable? No, it's not. Okay. So the this is a tooltip that is attached to the item, which we'll get to in a second. I haven't actually imported that yet. And then this is that skeletal mesh for the object. So it's an actual physical object in the game with a dimension and all that stuff. It has a capsule in it, so I can interact with it and knock it over and stuff like that. It has awesome physics. It just floats away forever right now. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so that is what the mesh part is for. As far as this part is concerned, we'll close this. So this is the structure that we have the array on the blueprint that we added to the player inventory, and that is where if we pick up an item, or we drop an item, or we sell it or buy an item, this is where your inventory resides. At some point, like, the entire goal was to make the player inventory a function that would call a multiplayer event, so, or a server event. So if I want to get the inventory, I retrieve it from the database and then populate it. That's the whole purpose of this, is to get player inventory, because right now it's just getting the one that's on the player, and then I would just basically change this function to be multiplayer if it was going to be a multiplayer event. So we go through this. If it has 0 items, we're just going to, if it has more than 0 items in it, it's going to go through a for each loop of each item in there. Otherwise, if the sorry, let's get this so I can actually speak the truth here. Okay, so if the length is greater than 0, so if this is true, it clears the children of the wrap box, which is what is used to populate the items in the UI inside the menu. It's going to empty it, and then it's going to go through our inventory list, and this is where it would populate, and it would add stuff to the wrap box. You can see I have a derelict one over here because I've had to edit the way this works. So basically what we do is we're going to add an item to it. So we want to go get oh no, not in that one. I need to do I want to add child to wrap box. So in my loop body, so every time it cycles through, we're going to do this, and we're going to do gotta remember what this is now. I have to go and look at it. I think it's a special widget in there. Inventory. Okay, inventory item display widget. So this is the one that has, this is the inventory square. The white is the image. So it's got, that's the icon of the picture. And then it has a number, which is the stack size in the corner. And then it's all surrounded by a size box with a canvas panel and colors and all that kind of stuff. So with a button so that you can actually click on the thing. So I have to create this item again. So what I'm going to do is drag this over to my second monitor. We're going to create another one. So we're going to go into our UI menu and we're going to make a user interface widget, and this is going to be called okay, so we have player inventory. We're going to call this display item display widget. Okay. So this, I'm just going to see if this works here. So I'm going to copy this and paste. There we go. And we'll set this to desired. Alright. So now basically what I'm doing is I am going from here and I have to go into my graph, and all of these little codes and stuff like that, I have to duplicate it on the other side, and I can't copy these and paste these. So I'm just going to go through each one here and see how this works. So let's start with the button. It has no bindings. I thought it had the tooltip binding. Maybe it's on the image? Yeah, it's on the images, the tooltip widget. Okay, so let's also make the widget part. So we'll go back to the easy inventory, and we need a tooltip widget. So this is player inventory tooltip widget. We'll open that up and we'll go back into our original one here, and this is the tooltip widget. We're gonna copy this, go back to this one, delete the root canvas, and paste. Set this to desired. Alright, so there's our tooltip widget. Alright, and we'll just compile this, and I'm going to go into this, and let's just mess with the tooltip widget first here. So we have the text block. Now this should be a binding to something, or is it in the event? Okay, it is. So we have the tooltip text is in here. So let's go into here and we'll just replicate this. So we're in the tooltip. We create a variable called item tooltip text. Make it public, right? It has to be public, right? Yes. And then it has to be a string. Save. Okay, so there's that. I have a function called set item tooltip text. So we'll go into here. We'll make a function called set item tooltip text. And all we'll do is we'll go here and we'll go set this and that. So we pass in an input for the item tooltip text and it sets it. It's very, very simple. Okay. Now I want to go to the designer now. I want to make sure. I'm pretty sure. I thought this. Oh yeah, there it is. Content text is item tooltip text is what it's bound to. So we'll go into here and we'll go into our designer. Select the text block, and the text, we will bind it to the item tooltip text. Compile that, so the tooltip should be done. Now we're going to go into our image, and we want the tooltip widget. We're going to bind to, and now this is going to be the fun part. So on the designer, for the display, The tooltip widget is a variable. Okay, so in the graph, setup tooltip. So it accepts the tooltip widget that we create, and it sets the tooltip variable and the tooltip text at the same time. So I need to create a setup tooltip function on my display. So I'm going to go into graph, and we're going to go functions, and we're going to go setup tooltip. And we are going to go and create our variable, and we're going to call item tooltip widget. And we will make this a let's just call it player inventory player. Okay, what did I just call this thing? That is not what I wanted open. I called it player inventory tooltip. Did I not compile this? Save. Okay, so I need player inventory tooltip widget. There we go. And it's a single. And does it have to be public? It is in here. We might as well do that. Compile. And then what we'll do is we will drag this in, make it a set, drag that onto the input, and then what we'll do is I think it also accepts the text, right? So we will do we need a tooltip widget. How did I do that? Did I pull it off of that? Yes. So we go here and we go set item tooltip text, and we go here and we drag this onto the input. We'll go like that. Alright. File and save. Alright, so there's the item display. And that should be all it needs. So what we'll do is we will go like this. When we need to populate the inventory, so in the menu, menu here, why is this over there? Let's move that. Okay, so when we populate the UI, we're going to add it. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a widget. And it is a item display widget. And we're going to go from here to here. We're going to add it in the end. We got that. And then we want to go we have to create the tooltip part, so we're going to create widget, and we're going to make a tooltip widget. Alright, and we're going to break out our item that we're looping through, and what we're going to do is our inventory widget, we're going to go set item tooltip tags, no. Item display widget has that setup tooltip. Okay, so and that is on the display? No, it is on the display widget itself. So in the menu, on the display widget, we're going to go setup tooltip. We'll just keep moving this along. We're going to go here, here, and so this here is our tooltip widget, that goes into here. Okay, and then the tooltip text is going to be the name, and that should be it. We'll deal with like the weight and all that stuff later. Okay, so now I'm creating the inventory. I don't have a pickup system, so what I need to do is I need to populate it. So when I populate the inventory, I need to create a inventory. So for now, what we'll do is we're gonna drag this, make some room here. Okay, so for each one, we're just gonna grab a random item, right? And it's gonna be the same thing, but we need a inventory function, and I'm just gonna make a get random item from database. So what we're gonna do is we're going to read the database, which is this file here. So we have data, and we need to create an item database, which is a list of all of these items. So we're going to create a, where is that, in here, data table, and it is a player inventory item struct. So this is a item database. Okay. So what we do is we're just gonna create one. We're gonna need a model and an icon. So what we're gonna do is gonna come over here. I have a craft resource things in here, and we're gonna migrate. And I think actually I have to save this. Yes, I have to save all. And I have to close this project. Okay, so now I want craft resources. We're gonna get all the icons. This is just a free package that I was using for testing it. Okay, and we're gonna go into here and select that. And we also want the infinity blade weapons, which is another free resource. Dungeon weapon, blah 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 blah. Just make sure there's nothing else. Yep. Okay, so we'll do this. Into here. And then we will go ahead and go into here and open our project again. And we should, there we go, we got both of those contents in here. So our data, we're going to create a database. So let's go ahead and now I don't know if I have to create a copy of this in there, but we're just going to say no. Okay, so let's make this hero sword. We'll just make one item for now, and it's going to be a weight of, we'll say 7, 1 stack size, and there's 1 item. The item icon is going to be oh, those are textures. Okay, that's not it. So I need a need some kind of an icon. Alright, let's go like this. Here's the textures. So let's find like a weapony type thing. I think I chose like it was like a crafting hammer. Like that one. We'll go in here and then we'll go here. And the item mesh it was like Hero Sword 10. Alright. So that's the mesh that I had before. Okay, so we're gonna save that. Now, when we go into our functions, and we get a random item from the database. We're going to go, let's see here. Let's do, how did I do that before? Let's go and look at this function here. It's not that one. Inventory functions. Get random item from database. Okay, so it's getting get data table row, blah blah blah. So we'll just go like this. Paste. Okay, so now the table is going to be the item database. Set all of these things. Hey, this is different, so I need to rebind this. So this is a break and make my return node is a player inventory item struct. We're gonna make one, and we're just gonna link all of this like that. Technically that should work. So I should get at least one item in there, and then we'll just loop through it, but I will be right. Yeah, and I think I completely disconnected my headset there. That's pretty good. I hope that wasn't disconnected the whole time. So what we are going to do is see if this actually populates them. But we need to make sure that the menu is going to populate this now. So we're going to go into our old system, and we're going to look at the menu, and in the graph, when we populate it is when it does that, right? So we need to go into the new one, and we have the populate So it's creating. We don't have to do all this stuff because we're doing it inside the aren't we? Oh, get random item. That's what I need to do. That's right. Okay. So this is going to be this. So we're only going to do one for now. So in fact, we're going to not do this yet. We're going to go like this. So we're going to break this loop, and we're just going to do one for now. I'm just going to make sure that this is actually populating correctly. It is not. Make sure my menu has the correct thing. Here, this, make sure it's class. This is a wrap box. Okay, it's not that. I think I'm missing the set item part actually. I need the display item. Is there a set item in here? Yeah, there is. Okay, I need to do this stuff. Okay, so get the inventory image. Alright, so I must have a okay, inventory image. So this must be on the binding. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay. So we have to duplicate these functions. So we have get inventory image. Alright. So we'll come back into here, and this is on the displayed item. We'll just save this real quick. And we will go item display and graph. And we will make a function called get inventory image. Paste. Return that. Okay, so now I need the designer. So the image is going to be called slot image. And we come back into the graph. And we'll go here, and we'll go get that. Ooh, come on. Texture 2D. Organize this a little better. Okay. So this slot image is a texture 2D. What's this one? is an image. Okay, so what's the difference? Oh, I see. Okay, it's the wrong one. Okay, so this is the name of the actual... okay, I gotcha. It's a separate variable. Okay, there we go. So we got that. So we need a slot image, and this is public, and this is a texture 2D, and this one is this. Okay, so there's that one. So that's getting it. So then we have a set. We have a set image. Okay, so we'll go into here and we'll make a function called set image, and it sets this set, and it does what? It is setting the slot image to a texture. Okay, so we'll go back into here. So I want to do this, and this is called the texture. Alright, so there's the set image, and then I think there's one more in here. Set stack size. And so it is a integer, and we'll go into here. We'll make a stack size. It is an integer. It's public. And I want a function called set stack size, and it's gonna go like this, and then here, like that. Okay, so this is when this is on the item display. So in my function where I get the item, this is my menu, set up the tooltip. I probably have that because I did have stacking set up so that when you add an item, multiple items, it would automatically increment the stack. So let's go and look where I have this stuff. This is adding to it. Set the integer, setting values. Okay, how about we have the set inventory stack size. Add display widget to UI. Okay, where's my references for this? Add to inventory. No. That's my test. This is my get inventory. Okay, let's just go and let's see where we can do this in the new one. Could be a change, but we'll see. Okay, so I populate. We're going to go through this step by step. So we populate it, we clear the children, we go through all the items, which is just going to be one. In here, I could probably do, when it does the generates the tooltip here. So it is the inventory display item. When I set up the tooltip is the other part, so it has to be this one. So if I go ahead and I do image, no, slot, get slot, item display, I have a set image, which is not accessible. I wonder if this is because it is no, it's the display widget. So it should have all of this stuff. It should just be this. So why? Why doesn't it like that? Let's get rid of this for now. And let's try, let's see what this says here. Yeah, okay, so it's already that. So what if I do a set, I have the set item tooltip text. Oh, this is the wrong one, that's why. I'm on the tooltip widget, that's why it's not showing up the function. I have to be on this. So we're gonna move this over. This is the one I want to go set image. There we go. So we're gonna set the image to that. And then we also want to do what's the other one? Set stack size. So I want this. Set stack size. We go into this, and the stack size is this, and out. Okay, just because there's only one, we'll change this later. We'll just make this work for now, because I have to make the add item to inventory later. Okay, so now I'm going to compile this. Now my display, I want to do designer. The image is brush, bind, slot image. And then I want this text to be stack size. File, save. Okay, let's try it. Oh. Fail. Alright, so what's happening here? Let's do create it, pull the texture, set the stack size, into here, we should make a function that does this and just call it and pass in the variables. Let's work on that. So we're gonna make a generate item display widget. So what do we need? We need an input that is the item data, and it's going to be that. Okay, that's good. So that is going to give us our name. And a phone call again. and you get interrupted, and then you completely forget what you're doing. Yeah, we're creating a generate item display widget. So we're going to create widget that is an item display widget, and I want a function that is set item generate item display tooltip widget. Alright, and we're going to go into generate item display widget, and I want to do this in here. I want to go set image, and I want a set tooltip, setup tooltip. Oh, I won't need this in there. Alright. Actually, yes, we will. We won't do that one yet. And we need a set stack size. So we are going to go this to here. I want to break this out, and I want the texture to be this, and stack size to be this. And we will return. I want to return this. Alright. So this should give me a widget, and if I go into the display graph, nope, populate, there we are. Okay, so this one here. So let's get rid of this stuff, just for now. Don't need that. Okay, so gonna clear the children. We're gonna get an item, and we're going to generate item display widget with this item. Well, it's so much cleaner. And so this is our display widget, and now we're gonna add widget. We want to go from the wrap box. So we're gonna go wrap box get, and we're gonna go add child to wrap box. Yeah. We'll go here, and we're gonna add that. Let's just delete this. Alright. Next step is we want the, okay, we did need this, generate item tooltip widget. And we're gonna go into here, and we're gonna go generate item tooltip widget, and then we're going to edit this function to actually do something. So what we want is we want to add in the item, and we are going to go create a widget that is the item tooltip widget, and we will, so we got our widget here. So now what we want to do is we want to let's go look at our widget again, because now I've forgotten everything. So we have a set tooltip text value is the one we want. So I want set tooltip text. This is my target. Let's break out this, pass in the name, return, and I want to do this. Alright, so now we're going to get that. So when we generate the tooltip widget, now what we're going to do is we're just going to add, this is the this is the widget, right? So we're going to go generate display widget, and we're going to set up tooltip here, our widget. I don't need that anymore, but this is setting up the tooltip widget. Return. I need to return node. I want to return the tooltip now. So we set the item tooltip. We don't need this. Just so it's easier to see. Set up tooltip, generate item tooltip widget. I need the item. This, and then we will go ahead and set it up, and then we're going to set up tooltip. Oh, I don't want to return the tooltip widget. Okay, I don't even need this. Set up tooltip, and then I need to go I need to add a child, which is this to that. Alright, let's try this. Let's just see if this works now. No. Why? Oh, because it's not equal, it's greater than 0. Oh. Because I don't have anything in there. Alright. I have to do the generate thing, because loop body and into here. Alright, so I can't do that because it's not passing this point, because I'm not generating it beforehand. So we're gonna have to change this. So when we do is it the get player inventory? Yeah. So if we get the player inventory, if it is valid, otherwise we're going to go like this, and we want to do we need to generate some data here. So what we were doing is we were just adding a bunch of items. So let's just make a generate sample inventory. Okay. Return. And what I want to do is I want to return an array, and I want to do inventory list. So we're gonna go for each for loop, and we're gonna do like 1. we'll just do one item for now. We are going to make array. I want to go make array. So here's my array. Loop body. I want to get random item from database. Gonna make an array, and I want this, and when it's completed we do this. Pile, save. Oh, it's 3 o'clock already. Get player inventory. Generate sampled inventory. And I want to go set player inventory list. This here out. It's messy, but it'll work, I hope. Here, play. No. Alright, well, I'm going to continue working on this. I got stuff to do now.